Yo, what's up everyone? My name is Dom and we're here to talk about unusual options activity. Alright, let's kick it off with the disclaimer. Disclaimer, this video is for educational purposes only. The statements made in this programming are solely the opinion of the show and are not a specific inducement to make an investment. One must perform their own due diligence and realize that all investments carry risk. There's no guaranteed profit. Alright everyone, first one I want to bring up is Snapchat, SNAP. Now, we have a position in this one in these July 23rd, 61 calls here. Now, if you come and look at some of these calls here, you will see there's an extraordinary amount of volume here, super short-term calls being bought. Now, Snap has earnings this week on Thursday, I believe, on the 22nd, July 22nd. So we decided to go with the straight call here. We have these positions in another account here. Now, as with earnings, as everyone knows, because I talk about it on this channel, I stress it because it's really important. The implied volatility here of 130% is pretty high because of the earnings announcement coming up. Now, because of that, these options are going to experience limited time decay because as they lose value to time, they're going to also gain value and hold their value because the earnings announcement is coming out and the implied volatility is going to stay elevated. So now in this scenario here, after the earnings announcement comes out, these options, the implied volatility is going to drop significantly. So if the stock does not make it up to and through your strike price, these options are going to be worthless. So now my strategy with this one, I think Snap is kind of biding its time here. The last 2 or 3 earnings announcements, this stock has gone up like 10 to 20%, and I know that's why they're in here buying calls. So what I'm thinking here is this Snap is kind of biding its time here. We are not in an easy market anymore. It's getting a lot harder to make money. So I'm not expecting Snap. I think the earnings are going to be great, but I can honestly see a sell-off in this stock after earnings. So my strategy here is play it up to, not through earnings. So I probably plan to get rid of these options right before the earnings announcement on Thursday. Now, depending on how the stock is trading, if we have, a loss in the option, obviously at that point, you might as well just ride out through earnings, depending on how big the loss is, unless you want to cut the loss, depending on your risk tolerance here, or possibly add to it. But my kind of strategy is if we have a nice profit before earnings, probably take it off. Take off the straight call and maybe spread it, maybe look to sell an upside call against it, or exit that position, get into a vertical spread, maybe short some put spreads. So everybody here has to analyze their risk and what their strategy is going to be, because going out and buying a call, that's not always the best strategy, but that's what we decided to do with this call here. So now Snap is at the 150-day moving average here, so I like that. It's kind of bouncing off that. It's bounced off of that level before, back when it was a $50 stock. It's still off of its high here, but there's been multiple gaps up here on earnings, and the more that happens, the more I'm kind of wary that hey, the next time maybe it'll sell off because everybody is accumulating shares before the quarter, because the last 2 times it jumped way up on the earnings results. So people could be accumulating shares here before the earnings announcement and expecting a big gap up, and if it does not gap up, then they might just be selling out here. So I'm definitely very cautious with this one here. Next one I want to bring up is VIAC. Now there was some nice trades that I saw here in these July or January 2022 calls here. Now, so I have a position in those ones. If you scroll through some of these other contracts here, there wasn't really too much intriguing volume. There was some nice volume here in the calls that these 2022 45 strike calls. Now we are in these calls. I really like where the stock is trading. We'll pull up the chart. Actually, might as well pull it up right now. I did see some nice orders. Some looks like institutions coming in here. Now, what I'm thinking with Viacom here is this thing traded up to about $100 a share back in some speculative mania, short squeeze, not necessarily short squeeze, but yeah, mid-March this thing was at about $100 a share, gapped all the way down to about 42. Now, I think this thing is going to fill the gap back up to 100 at some point. You know, I like this stock. I've been in this stock before now. Now, as you can see here, this thing has been making a series of lower lows here as time progresses on here. You know, made a low of about 37, then made a low of about 38, then made a low of about 39. Now we're back at that 40 level here. Now this stock has been a god to trade lately because, as you can see from the chart here, you know, it trades up to, you know, about this 46, 47, looks like it traded up to about 48 once, and then came down, made a lower low, went up again, made a low, sorry, a higher low, and it's just been kind of range bound here. So I think this is a good setup for a trade here. We're giving ourselves plenty of time. I do not mind going out to 2022 with these options here, because this stock is pretty cheap here, and I think they have earnings coming up here on August 5th. So we have that kind of catalyst looking forward. I think last time Viacom traded up on earnings. So I like these calls, everyone. I think they're pretty reasonable for going out to 2022. We did get a little bit of an out of the money call here. I like the out of the money call strategy when we're giving ourselves plenty of time here for this trade to work. So thanks to everyone who's been subscribing. I really appreciate it. Make sure to keep the subscribing up. Make sure to share this video with somebody who likes trading, who's trying to learn, and we'll see you in the next one.